Hello there YouTube, and welcome to part 1 of today's Carboot haul video. Part 2 will be exclusively toys, all from the same seller. I've got 2 big bags, so I'm going to have to make it as 2 different videos. Where do we start? So I think we'll start over here with all of these pocket dragons. So there was someone who was doing, not house clearance, but a seller clearing out a load of their stuff. And a lot of people were all sort of, gathering round, and I found this little dinosaur. So I was asking the bloke, "Oh, how much do you want for this dinosaur?" And he went, "Oh yeah," and walked off. So, mate, I want to pay and get off to the next stall. So I was sort of following him around, and other people were grabbing him. "How much is this?" And he was giving them a price, but just didn't give me a price for this lovely dinosaur. So at one point when he was chatting with someone else, I noticed there was this massive bag with all of these boxed little pocket dragons in. And I said, "Excuse me, mate, how much are these little dragons?" And he walked off. Then he came back and I was like, mate, how much are the dragons? And he was like, "Oh, I don't know, I asked my wife." And so he turned to his missus and said, "How much are the dragons?" And she turned, and I think she just saw me with this. And she was like, £1. So I went, I wasn't sure whether she meant these were all £1 each or whether she wanted £1 for that. But I asked how much the dragons, so they were very busy. So I got my bag out and I started counting up how many of these there were. So most of these were in boxes. Almost all of them were in boxes. And some of the boxes felt lighter than others. So I opened a couple up and were like, oh, they all seem to be in there. And then at one point I opened this box up, which doesn't look like it's necessarily... Oh no, it was a pocket dragon one. But it looked like there was more than one in there. And there were some that were loose, like this moon one that just had some bubble wrap on. Anyway, I counted very quickly and I thought there was 28, not including how many extra were in this box. So I said to him, "Mate, I've got 28 dragons." And he was like, "All right, 28 quid. And I went, "Don't forget, I've got my little 50p dinosaur." And he was like, "Oh yeah." So I gave him... I gave him 30 quid and he gave me £1.50 change. So this was 28.50 I spent on this dude and all of these. Now I've counted them up. There's about 33, something like that. Because there's like some had 2 in a box, some have 1, some had 3 and 4. It's a big jumble. So yeah, spent £28.50 on a mass amount of pocket dragons. I think I'm probably going to get a shot of them. I don't know if they have any value. I mean, some of them are really nice. I do like some of them. This one's really cute. And it'd be nice, like, if there was ever someone in my life that was not feeling very well, you could be like, "Oh, get well soon. Oh, I'll take you to see the doctor. Oh, I hope you're having a good hospital stay. Have a chill pill." I don't know. Yes. And then there's some Christmas ones. I don't know. So maybe some of them I'll keep and maybe some of them I'll shift off. I'm not 100% sure what I'll do with all of them yet. We'll see what value's in them. I think that'll be the kicker. Anyway, we went back later on and picked up a few more bits. They had this. Didn't realise how broken it was at the time. He's missing one of his eyebrows. But I used to have ice cream in. I had one of those as a kid. Cream egg mug and a really old Bertie Bassett's mug. So, yeah. Ended up spending them another £1.50. So I spent 30 quid with that one seller. Saw this box. Was trying to have a little flick through it. It looks mostly just random rubbish. How much do you want for that? And they said £5. There was also this bag of Christmas decorations, like really old papery, vintagey ones, some that are still new in the box. How much you want for your bag of Christmas decorations? £2. So I said, how about we do £5 for both bags? And they were like, yeah, that's fine. So there we go. Got a load of this stuff, which I think is from like an aquarium fish tank thing. Going to use it as prop stuff for Dungeons and Dragons. Same seller had this, which I think would be cool for Dungeons and Dragons, and this for Dungeons and Dragons, and they threw that in as well. I think all in all, I spent about £5. I think it was £3 for those, and then £2 for all of that. Yeah, something like that. I think I spent £5 there, so that wasn't so bad. Bought this ambient LED floating cloud with multicoloured lights. That was £2. I'm going to use that for Drew. This pretty little book with a fairy on that hasn't been used. That was £2. I got these 3 safari dinosaurs and 2 monsters in my pocket dinos. It was 20p each on those. These were £1 each. This is a Ghostbusters little ghost fella, and this car's really cool. This is 1980, I think it said. 1990, Buddy L Corp. Never heard of it. Can't tell if those eyes are meant to light up, but yeah, that's a very cool 1990s sort of car. He did have some Snoopy ones, but they were a bit more expensive, so I just went for them. Got this Red Dwarf keyring, 50p. It's definitely seen better days. Bought this, I forget what they call these unicorn stones. They're obviously just, coloured rocks for 50p. And these very cool stickers, I can definitely make use of those. They were 50p. Bought this for 50p. This was 20p. And this was meant to be 20p, and this little lizardy Chinese dragon bootleggy looking thing was meant to be 20p, but I got 3 for 50p. Same seller had this for £1. This Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sort of Polly Pocket thing. This little bundle here came from the same people that had this random box there, and the Christmas decorations. That was £1. Well, in fact, it was 50p for that little handful, and then I said, and what about if I threw this in? And they said, oh, in that case, it's £1. Weird. So yeah, £1 there. Got this. This is meant to be like a light up moon. This was £2. This was from the same person who had these really cool bits. So I went over, they had loads of gemstones, but they also had these really cool ones. Like this one's got some sort of stone inside of it. Very, very nice. That one was meant to be 15. And I said, how much is this one? And they said 10. This is like some nice carved wood. They both came in these really nice sort of pouches. So I said, what do you want for the pair? And she said 20 quid. So, all right, we'll have that. She had loads of other little stones all priced up individually. Never heard of this, but I like the fact that it's radioactive. I don't know if I've got any radioactive rocks, but it's like glistening and shiny and pretty. That had a £10 sticker on. This one had an £8 sticker on. It's got like a crystal growing out of it, which looked pretty. And then this one had a £5 sticker on it. I thought was very pretty too. So I said, seeing as that's 10 and that's 8 and this is 5, would you do the 3 for 20? And they said, yeah. And then they had another big box of stones that were £4 each or 3 for 10. So I got this one that's like fool's gold, but with like a big chunk of crystal growing out of it. This one I like the colour scheme of. Ferrocite. It's not coming out very well on the camera, but it's got like nice green veins through it. And then this one, Zincenite, which is like some really crystally orange stuff. So that was 10 there, 20 there, and 20 there. So I spent £50 on this little lot. There was a really nice like Cthulhu handmade big giant teddy bear thing that was on another table. And they wanted 50 quid for it, and I went back a few times and ummed and ahed, but in the end I thought I'll come back if I've got the money at the end. Made sure I had 50 quid left. When I got back it was sold, but it was massive. I don't know where I'd put it. Bought this weird little mason case thing for 50p, and then spent a fair bit of money on these two. Have to admit, I was walking back to the car with all the pocket dragons really early on, and this guy was setting up. He's not very cheap, but he does have some cool stuff sometimes. And I saw this. It's some sort of old school pistol, but it has this cool like axe handle thing to it. I don't know why it's got that in there. I don't know what that is. And then he had this really cool like dragon knife. So I thought that was really cool. It's got a nice sort of blade to it. So I said, how much for the pair? And he said 30 quid. Don't try offering me 20. Someone just has, and I turned them down. So I said, all right, well, how about 25? And he said, no, 28. And I looked at them again, and I thought, you know what? Where are you going to find another dragon knife and another shotgun, pistol, axe combo thing? So I went, yeah, I'll have that. So 28 there, 50 there, 30 down there. So it's like 80, 90. So we're already over 100, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110. I mean, it's probably roughly about £110 worth of stuff there, which is quite a lot, I have to admit, especially because unless I can make some major recuperation on these pocket dragons, which I think is unlikely, and this box of randomness here, I'm probably not going to make my money back. But I do have some really cool stuff that I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep the knife and the gun thing. I'm going to keep these little wands and all the little crystals. The woman who sold these to me, I was like, bloody hell, I can't believe I've spent 50 quid on your store. And she was like, you got some real bargains. I don't know if I did. How much does something like this normally sell for? I don't know. I don't even know what stones are inside it. I mean, is it nicely made? Yeah, it's nicely made. Is it, worth a tenner? I don't know. Is this radioactive rock worth a tenner? Maybe it's only worth, a fiver. Maybe it's £2. What are these worth? Who knows? And then we might just try and sell some of this on. And obviously other bits are going to be used for D&D. Never know, maybe I can sell some of those Christmas decorations. But yeah, so that's the non-toy haul. I also found this at a charity shop on a Wednesday. This was £1.50. Old Polly Pocket playset there. Missing all its bits, but hey ho. So that is kind of the non-toy stuff. There are a few toys dotted in there, here and there, but it's not the big bulk bag of toys that we're going to have coming up. So stay tuned. This is just part one. Bye.